What's up, everybody? Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Cole Sands here. This is your Tackle Tip Tuesday. This tip is brought to you by one of my great sponsors, Witch Doctor Tackle Rods. I've been with them for, man, a long time now, and it's just incredible how far the company's come and just how the owner just kept improvising, making better and better rods. It seems like each year he comes out with something to make his rods a little bit better. And that's what's really cool about, um, Witch Doctor Tackle is he does not compromise when it comes to quality on the rods. If he can figure out a way to make it better, he's going to keep making it better. And seriously, the best rods I've ever thrown. And I've used every one on the market. I've tried them out. And once you use these, you'll have a hard time going back. I can tell you that much. But so this week's tip, drop shot. I'm just going to kind of show you my drop shot rig, tell you about my rod setup and why. And that's pretty much it. So the drop shot, man, a lot of people know how much I love to throw a drop shot. I will always have it tied on just about, I would say 9 out of 12 months out of the year when I'm fishing on Chickamauga. And besides that, fishing other places, it's just kind of my confidence deal. But pretty much my setup's almost always the same. I use a 2500 series reel. This is a Vanford. I'm not sponsored by them, but I just like the reel. 10-pound Yo-Zuri braid. You could use 20 if you wanted to, but 10-pound, I've never broke the braid. Never once have I broke that braid. It is extremely strong braid, and I like the small diameter because you can cast further. As far as the fluorocarbon size goes, when I'm fishing for largemouth, I always use 10-pound line. This is 10-pound Yo-Zuri T7 fluorocarbon. As far as the rod setup goes, this is a Witch Doctor Tackle custom series. If you want one of these, you'll have to call the doctor himself. And because they're not on the website yet, this is the lightest spinning rod he's ever made. I promise you will not find a better film spinner rod out there. But as far as the rod goes, 7.2 medium is always what I use for my drop shot setup. Except sometimes I will go to a medium light. If I'm vertical fishing or vertical fishing and fishing brush piles vertically, I'll use a medium light. And the reason is, a lot of times when I'm right over them, and especially if you're around rock or brush, sometimes you pull up and you're not sure if it's brush or a fish. And with that little bit lighter tip, these rods are extremely strong. They got a great backbone, but the medium light's got a really light tip on it. When you pull into them, they're just not as likely to spit it out. They'll kind of take that tip down a little bit. It gives you a little bit more time to react. So I will use a medium light in that scenario. Besides that, I'm always using a medium, but that's a 7.2. And then as far as the bait goes, there's a couple hooks you can use. Now, if I am smallmouth fishing, I will use like a number 2 or a number 1, like a kind of a high, more of a, what am I looking for? Like a semicircle hook type deal. But usually I'm using a straight shank 1/0 hook. There's 2 brands that I found that I like so far. I'm sure there's more out there. Same deal, I'm not sponsored by these guys, but an owner cover shot is probably the best one I found. Rebarb also makes a good drop shot hook. But that owner cover shot, I've never really had it bend out on me. And it's just kind of my go-to. But when it comes to tying it on, you always want to start with the hook point down. Go from the top going down when it comes with the line. Run down. I just tie a Palomar knot. That's all I've ever tied pretty much. It's never failed me. So tie your simple Palomar knot, wrap it around. Always want to wet your line. Always pull down on the tag end. Don't pull down on the upper end except to get that last little loop out. And when you do, just pull it soft. It's going to, kink up that bottom line a little bit. But once you get that right there, a lot of times it will, since you started from the bottom going up, a lot of times it will go ahead and, stick up straight. But what I do just to make sure that it does stand up straight, I grab that line and I run it from the top going down. So at this point, going from the top going down, just like so, you pull all that slack out, and that thing, as soon as I adjust the knot where it's straight, that thing almost always is going to stick straight up. And once it does, you can grab your weight. A lot of people love using tungsten for a drop shot. Very seldom do I use tungsten for a drop shot. I'm more of a lead guy because your first point of contact is the worm itself or the hook. So what I do, I usually give it about, 8 inches is probably what I'd say. I try to go with about from the bait to the weight. You can go a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. If I am fishing beds, I'll go a little bit shorter. If I feel like the fish are up off the bottom, I might go a little bit longer. But right there, I just feel like that's right in their face. You got about a 10-inch, 10-inch leader. I feel like that's right there in their face. And then for the worm, I'm pretty much always going to throw some type of 4 or 6-inch finesse worm. I love the Fishco finesse worm series. This is a green pumpkin blue swirl. I love the swirls. I think it's just really natural, something that you know, occurs a lot in nature. And you know, once I got it on there, it's going to stand up pretty straight in the water. I just drag it real slow and shake it. And as far as weight size goes, I use anywhere from an 1/8 through to a 1/2 ounce. It depends on the current, how deep I'm fishing, etc., etc. But that is an extremely versatile bait. Don't think drop shot's just a deep bait or whatever. I fished in grass, I fished in brush, I fished on bed, and it's a very versatile bait. That's my setup, rod and reel, you know, top to bottom. It catches a ton of fish, and I bet y'all will with it too. Catch y'all next time.